Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today we are going to do a quick video on the 3 top tips for fat loss. Now let's be clear, this is not stuff that you haven't heard before. It's the basic information, but unfortunately it's the stuff that works. And what we often see is that, people that aren't getting results, aren't seeing fat loss or aren't losing weight or aren't getting the results that they want. The main reason really is because they kind of know what they should be doing, but they don't, go ahead and do what they need to do. So what we're going to kind of do today, the objective of today is to go over the 3 top tips really simply, really easily, and hopefully it inspires some people to kind of, kickstart their week and start to get some results. Now, clearly we are now like the 23rd of March, right? So we're kind of approaching the end of the first quarter. And, what we've seen with the people we've spoken to and the calls we have with people, speaking to customers and prospective clients, things like that, is generally speaking, January is the time when everyone's highly motivated. It's the time when everyone's like, right, okay, I'm on it. I've just come out of Christmas. We all felt a little bit heavier. We'd eaten too many mince pies, probably had a little bit too much red wine to drink. And that's the time when people are kind of really motivated. That then bleeds into February. March is a little bit of a funny month because the energy and the motivation that you felt after Christmas is now kind of gone. And now we're entering the kind of, the time when the sun's starting to come out a little bit and people are more kind of conscious of the fact that, some holidays are coming up. So it's a slightly different dynamic from a psychological point of view and where people are with their motivation and with their kind of, their goals and things like that. But what we often see is that January is kind of a time when people are right, let's, draw a line, let's start afresh, start anew, let's do this, so let's get that, take that momentum and that energy I've got right now and build it into, new habits. March is more like, oh shit, I've got a holiday coming up in May or June or July, and it's more of like, let's get in shape for summer. And most people, we find that, are getting fit now, it's because they've left it to the last minute. It's like, oh, I need to get back in shape. I'm not, I've not done what I said I would do back in January. And it's kind of like a last chance saloon effectively. Now, clearly none of us want to go on holiday and, because, many of us have not had holidays because of COVID and all the lockdowns and the restrictions around travel. So this seems to be the first summer really for a while that everyone's getting, having the ability to get out and start go on holiday, spending time on the beach. And it's a time when we're quite conscious because, if we don't feel great and we don't feel confident in our body and, we're holding 5 to 10 kilos of extra weight around our body, it's not a comfortable feeling. It's not, you don't want to go on holiday and feel like you can't take your top off or enjoy your holiday. You want to be in a position where, you can wear what you want, you feel good, you feel confident, you feel happy. And then it's just down to enjoying that holiday and making sure that, you use it to rest and to, refresh yourself, because we all need it. We all had a very long run now of not having holidays. So to the kind of crux of the video, the 3 top tips for fat loss. Now, obviously, we're talking to a whole range of different people on this live now. There could be people that are CEOs of companies. There could be people that are senior executives of companies. Generally speaking, you're going to be highly stressed. You're going to be exceptionally busy. You are going to be, under pressure all the time to make stuff happen. And often what happens is that fat loss and health and your results then get pushed down to the bottom of the pile, which is what we see a lot with many senior executives. There may be people on here that are busy mums, people that are, under pressure in a slightly different way. So they've got demanding children. They want your time. They want your energy. I'm a dad of 2 little ones, and I understand that it's bloody tiring when kids want your attention all the time. They're up early. They don't want to go to bed early. So there's this whole different kind of pressure, but trust me, it's pressure. And oftentimes results and fat loss and health get pushed to the bottom of the pile, because instead of looking after the business, you're looking after the children. And it's the same situation. You are putting yourself to the bottom of the pile. And probably, for the last 6 months, we've seen more and more people reporting that during COVID, from the lockdowns and eating more and being less active, they have pushed their results even further down the pecking order of things that are a priority in their life. because, you know, we were all in survival mode. We were looking to save our jobs and save our businesses, and it was a highly stressed situation. But, you know, we're out of it now, by the looks of things, mainly out of it, and it's time to start focusing on yourself. So a little kind of idea for you, you know, when you go onto the aeroplane and the mask come down, you know, they say, oh, when the mask comes down, put it on yourself first. And the reason they say that is because if you can't look after yourself, how can you put the mask on the people around you? How can you look after your business, your friends, your family, your children? And that's what it comes down to. I think, you know, this is the start of this year now. People are becoming more aware that they need to start looking after themselves, because if you don't have health and you don't have yourself in a position where you feel healthy and confident and happy, it then has a knock-on effect to all other areas of your life. And we're all aware of it. I just feel like, you know, from talking to so many people over the last, you know, 5 to 10 years, there's a slight shift in people's framing of where they are and what they want to do. So maybe the time is right for you, the people listening to this video, take this information and take it and actually do something with it. And it's literally as simple as that. You know, once you get the information, just do it. And it's not overly complicated. It's really simple. And, you know, you take these 3 top tips and you just do them for a consistent amount of time. Now, obviously, consistency is something that could be a struggle for people. They start and they stop, or they start and they get results and stop. Generally speaking, you need to be doing this for at least 3 weeks. So 21 days when we start to build actual habits. That takes it from motivation, which is like that willpower, that initial energy, takes it from that into habit. Now, what most people do is they start a new program or start some new kind of healthy habits, start going to the gym, wherever it may be. And generally speaking, people stop after 2 to 2.5 weeks, just before they start building the habit. So a little bit more kind of insight into what's going to make this work for you. You need to be doing this for 3 weeks. If you can do it for 3 weeks and you can do it consistently for 3 weeks, something magical is going to happen. Your brain's going to actually rewire and start treating that as a new habit. Now, I'm pretty sure there's not a single person on this live or who's part of our network who wouldn't like to get results and also keep them forever, because getting them is not the hardest bit. The hardest bit is keeping it. It's a bit like when you're successful in business, right? It's not the, you know, getting hold of the money. It's then keeping it forever and keeping it consistent. Similar thing with your health. We see people lose weight and get healthy all the time. However, they start to lose it. So the healthy habit building, that first 3 weeks is really, really important. And just another little hack for you, something that we find works really, really well, is that when you start this, let's just say you start Monday, for example, it's like, right, let's do this. I'm on my healthy habits. I'm going to take the 3 top tips Cam's given me. I'm going to implement them into my life. I'm going to follow them for 3 weeks. A little hack for you is that getting 3 weeks is really important. What's also really important is that in the first 14 days, you do at least 5 workouts. Now, those workouts could be walking, they could be running, they could be gym, whatever they may be, Peloton. You know, remember those things that everybody bought and they're now hanging their socks and trousers on? We've actually got a really good video on that we put on a YouTube channel. We did a bit of a review about Peloton and they were great and everyone was excited about them. But we kind of, you know, we called it as it was, which is really they're going to be, you know, very expensive clothes hangers for most people. Some people, you know, may have turned into Tour de France members, but most people start hanging their clothes on it. So that hack, just to repeat that, whatever exercise you kind of choose to do on your new health journey, you need to do 5 workouts in the first 2 weeks, which is the first 14 days. That's going to massively kind of increase the likelihood of you keeping this on board as part of your healthy habits. So just to kind of reiterate those, 5 workouts in the first 14 days, and then 3 weeks of doing these consistently, these 3 top tips consistently. And that is what's going to take you from where you are to where you want to be. Okay. And that's doing this for 19 years now and working with hundreds and hundreds of people, helping them to lose weight, get healthy, transform their bodies. Trust me, that works. Just take that as gospel. You know, if you want to go ahead and do loads and loads of research, unfortunately, it becomes overwhelming and you get lots of information. Just trust me, do that. That's going to work for you. So to the top 3 tips, you know, for how to lose fat loss. And again, they're super simple, but they work. So just go ahead and do them, really. That would be my advice. If you want to get results, just write them down and do them. Okay, so tip number one, so the first tip on the top tips for fat loss is to move more. Now, I know you're like, oh, yawn. Yeah, how boring. We've heard that 1,000 times before, but you know, you've heard it 1,000 times, but maybe you're not doing it. So that's the difference, right? You may have heard it, but you're not doing it. So I want to reiterate that this is really, really important. Start moving more, okay? There's no excuse, which we hear all the time. Oh, it's cold, it's wet, it's damp, it's dark. It's now getting sunny now, so it's getting brighter and it's getting warmer. So there's no excuse for you not to be moving more. You know, if you're in the city, don't jump in an Uber, go for a walk, you know, walk to your office. You know, if you're going out to the shops, take the baby, go for a walk in the pram, whatever it may be. Just begin to move more. Now, walking, you know, everyone's talking about walking and, you know, upping your steps. It's because it works. It's just upping that activity level in all elements of your life. Just start to think, right, you know, I've got two options here. I either get in the cab or I walk. I get on the bus or I walk. I get on the train or I can walk an extra stop. Things like that. Just start to move more in your general life, because generally speaking, the shift we've seen, you know, in more working from home. I know people are back at the office now, but generally, in general, people are still more static than they were, you know, a couple of years ago. So it's just important to up the activity level, do more movement, walking, whatever it may be. I say walking because it's something that's really easy to do. Everyone can walk, you know, everyone can move more. So just start implementing that into your day. And if you have got like a Fitbit, if you have got an Apple Watch, even the iPhones or the Samsungs, they've all got inbuilt pedometers now. So, I mean, 99.9% of us in this country will have something already that will allow us to track our steps. We've got a great app which actually kind of syncs with the watch, syncs with the phone, so it tracks your steps for you. But they've all got inbuilt step trackers. Generally speaking, you know, we've heard the 10,000 step thing every day. For some people, that's not realistic because they are sitting on the computer all day. So generally speaking, if you're in a really sedentary job, aim for 5,000. If you're in a job where you can kind of get up and move more in the weekends, aim for 10,000 a day. Now, just on that as well, if it feels like quite a lot of pressure to be doing, you know, 5 or 10 or 15,000 every single day, then what you can do is start to, you know, create a total for your week. So say, for example, some people work at home on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever it might be, and they're in the office Tuesday, Thursday. On the Tuesday, Thursday day, you might say, right, they're 10,000 because I'm at work, I can move more. And the 3 other days, it's 5,000. So then you can create like a total for the week. So instead of having pressure on each day, it's like, right, well, if I get to Sunday and I'm 4,000 short, I'm going to have to go out and do a half an hour walk. You see how that works, right? Just allows you to kind of, you know, top it up when you need to. Okay, so let's go for tip number 2. So we're now looking at kind of more of a nutritional kind of protocol, which will work hand in hand with the more activity. So increase protein and reduce carbs. Yeah, you've heard it many times before, but it works, especially if you're doing something that's short term. You know, we generally recommend 6 weeks is a great place to start with any kind of program, because it's only 6 weekends. You know, it's not going to kill you. It's just 6 weekends of being focused and doing it. Also, it works nicely with that, you know, having the 3-week thing with the habits as well. So it's like as soon as you hit the halfway point, you're building the habits, and the last 3 weeks really is just pure results. So increase protein, reduce carbohydrates. Now, just to give you some kind of real world switches, which is really what you're going to be doing, you're going to be switching certain meals out so that you're kind of making healthier choices. Let's just say for lunch you're having, you know, a sandwich, some crisps, and a latte, which is obviously a coffee with lots and lots of milk in it. The healthy switch for that, or the fat loss switch for that, would be something like, you know, a tuna, a chicken, or a turkey, or whatever fish you fancy, salad with, you know, some olive oil, like a nice mixed salad, with full fat yogurt, like a 10% phage or a skyr yogurt, something like high fat, not the ones that have added the sugar in, but nice high fat, and then a black coffee instead of the latte. So what we've done there is we've reduced the calories, we've increased the protein, and we've removed the carbs effectively. Now, if you used to follow that for the next 3 weeks as a lunch compared to what you were having before, and potentially, you know, same thing at dinner. If you're having a spag bowl with lots of pasta or a chili with lots of rice, just, you know, just remove the carbs from the evening meal. It's really, really simple. And just push the carbs into the breakfast. It's a really easy, simple protocol to follow. And it just works, especially if you're doing something as short term as like a 6-weeker. So increased protein, reduced carbs, what that's going to do is going to stabilize your blood sugar as well. It's going to mean that you feel less hungry because protein keeps you full. It's also going to mean that you're starting to build muscle and starting to reduce your fat storage as well. Couple that with, you know, the extra movement you're doing, you're going to start seeing physical changes in your body. Whether it's a pound, you know, 2 pounds a week, whatever it might be, but you will see changes in your body. So tip number 3, this is the last one before we kind of, you know, head off for the morning's work, is drink lots and lots of water. Again, you've heard it a million times before, but nobody does it. Nobody does it, okay? Nobody does the extra walking. Nobody starts to switch in protein and fat for carbs and sugar, and nobody drinks loads and loads of water. And that's why, if you are watching this and you're not getting results, it's probably one of those 3 things, to be totally frank with you. It's not rocket science. It's just spotting what those things are. So when we say drink lots of water, most people we speak to, you know, if they get a litre a day inside of them, that would probably be a lot for them. Really what we need you to do to start seeing change and start getting results is upping that to 2 litres as like a minimum. And if you can get that into the 2.5, 3s, even better. So being hydrated is going to improve your energy. It's going to improve your skin. It's going to improve your ability to kind of flush all the kind of excess fat from your body, the toxins from your body, allow your body to start cleaning itself much easier. Also, a major factor in this as well is that when you're dehydrated, you know when someone's dehydrated because when their lips are going kind of, you get those little white bits and then they don't like they're quite dry. That means they're already quite dehydrated. So really, you should always be in a position where you feel like your mouth is quite moist. You don't feel like you're getting that dry feeling in your mouth. If you do get to that point, you are actually dehydrated by that point. What it means is then your whole system is dehydrated. So your blood's thicker. So it's having to work harder to get the blood through your arteries and your heart, which essentially means you're working harder all the time. And when you start to rehydrate, you start to hydrate your body, your blood becomes much more fluid. So it means your body's working much less hard. You know, you won't get as hot. You don't feel like your heart rate's going mad all the time. A thing that we see all the time is when someone's dehydrated, also when they are, if they've had drink alcohol the night before, their heart rate is elevated throughout the whole day because we can see it when we track clients. So your heart and your lungs, everything's working harder when you are dehydrated. So tip number 3 is to start drinking more water. So just to summarize those before we kind of nip off them. So 3 top tips for fat loss. As I mentioned, and these are kind of bonuses, right? Bonus bits of information. You need to start doing, you know, if you start this on Monday, for example, you know, that's where you want to start today, if you're even more keen. Get 5 workouts done in the first 14 days. That's going to make this stick much better. It's going to make sure that you kind of stick on plan, which is what you need to do to get results, right? Also, keeping on track, keeping doing the habits for 3 weeks, so 21 days, is going to help you to build those habits. It's going to take from motivation to habit, which then essentially builds consistency, which then builds results. That's what results are. It's just consistent effort. Same with everything, business, finance, whatever it is. And then on to the kind of 3 top tips we mentioned. So number 1 is get moving more. Don't take the train, don't take the escalator, don't take the elevator. Walk more, move more. So walk to the office, you know, don't get the bus, walk, run upstairs instead of taking the elevator. Just move more. And if you have got like a Fitbit or, you know, phone, you know, we all have over here really, that will track your steps. As I mentioned, you know, 10,000 a day is like the gold standard. If you're someone that works from home and then has days in the office, you can actually make it so you've got days where it's lower and days where it's higher. So you've got a total for the week. So you can make your life a little bit more simple. So instead of having 10,000 every day, which is unachievable for some, do a 5 and then a 7, then 10, whichever works for kind of your busy schedule. Number 2 is to increase your protein, reduce carbohydrates. So some switches that you can use is to remove the sandwiches, remove the crisps, and remove the latte, which is heavily sugared, and then go more for, chicken, tuna, turkey, salmon, whatever it might be, salads with some olive oil to increase the fat a little bit, and then go for high fat yogurt, so phage 10%, something like that, not the sugar based ones, but just the kind of the plain versions, and have a black coffee. That's tip number 2. And tip number 3 is you need to be drinking more water, without a doubt. So most people are hitting a litre, some people don't have any, which blows my mind, but they don't. So if you're having, if you're having a litre or less, you need to double that straight away. You need to be doing 2-3 litres a day if you can. That's really going to accelerate, the fat loss, make your body feel like it's got more energy, generally just make you feel healthier, full stop. Okay, well, I hope that was really helpful for you guys. This is recorded and then posted into our social media platforms. So my name is Cameron Harris. I'm the co-founder of Truth, and we help busy people just like you to lose 14 pounds or more in just 6 weeks. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and catch up very soon.